The galaxy was silent when the Terran Empire finally showed itself. For more than a century, everyone believed humans were gone forever. Their worlds were erased from the star maps, their colonies destroyed, and their people scattered or killed. No one expected humanity to return, and no one believed that humans could rise again. That is why, when the first Terran dreadnought came out of the dark nebula, the galaxy froze in fear. The ship was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. It was long, black, smooth, and heavy, as if shaped by gravity itself. Strange blue lines pulsed across its armor, showing energy that even the oldest alien scientists could not identify. It moved with slow, perfect control, not shaking, not drifting, not making a single mistake. It was a ship built by a species that had trained for war in complete silence. Alien patrol scouts were the first to see it. Their sensors screamed warnings. Their screens showed a single symbol on the ship's front, a blue circle with a silver line through it. Some recognized it. Some did not. But one officer whispered the name that no one wanted to hear. Earth. The word created panic. Commanders shouted orders. Pilots rushed to prepare their ships. Stations sounded alarms that had not been used in decades. The memories of the old war came back like a nightmare. The galaxy had pushed humanity out because humans were unpredictable and dangerous. They were strong, fast learners, emotional, and stubborn. None of the great species wanted to share power with them. So they forced Earth into exile, believing humans would die off quietly. But they were wrong. The dreadnought stopped in the middle of the patrol zone. It did not fire. It did not speak. It simply waited. The aliens felt as if the ship was looking at them, judging them, remembering them. Inside the Alliance flagship, dozens of alien leaders gathered in the command hall. Some were shaking. Some were angry. Some tried to hide their fear behind loud words. But no matter how they tried to act strong, the giant dark ship on the screen made them all feel small. "Open a channel," the Supreme Admiral ordered. They expected a human face. They expected a human voice. But when the transmission activated, they saw only darkness. A moment later, a calm, steady voice filled the hall. "This is the Terran Sovereign Empire." The aliens looked at each other, shocked. The voice was human, but it sounded different, stronger, deeper, disciplined. A voice shaped by generations of silence. "We remember what you did," the voice continued. "We remember the exile. We remember the betrayal. And we remember the promise you made, that humanity would never return." The aliens felt cold. They had no answer. No one had expected humans to come back more powerful than before. The Terran voice spoke again. "We did not die. We did not break. You pushed us into the dark, but the dark became our home. You cut us off from the galaxy, but the galaxy did not end with you. We found new stars. We built new worlds. We grew in places you feared to enter. You left us with nothing. So we built everything." The hall was silent. No one dared to interrupt. Then the transmission changed. A new image appeared, an entire fleet. Dozens of ships, maybe hundreds, moved in perfect formation behind the first dreadnought. Their black armor reflected the blue light of a distant star. Their engines burned like cold fire. "This is the Terran Empire's first expeditionary fleet," the voice said. "We have returned." Alien admirals panicked. Some shouted for defensive lines. Others said they needed reinforcements. Some begged for negotiation. But the Terran fleet did not attack. It simply moved forward with slow, confident motion, showing everyone that it did not fear them. "What do you want?" the Supreme Admiral finally asked. The voice answered without emotion. "Not revenge. Not war. We want truth. We want respect. We want the galaxy to understand that humans do not kneel. The aliens realized something terrifying. The humans were not speaking like a broken, desperate species. They were speaking like rulers. The Terran voice ended the transmission with a final message. We came back to show you the result of your exile. Remember this moment. The galaxy you knew is gone. A new one begins now. And with that, the human fleet advanced, silent, powerful, unstoppable. As the Terran fleet moved deeper into the patrol zone, every alien ship in the region backed away. They were not ordered to retreat, fear simply took control. The humans did not fire a single shot, but their presence felt like a storm ready to break. Ships that once acted brave now drifted like frightened insects. In the main alliance chamber, leaders argued loudly. Some demanded immediate attack. Others pleaded for peace. A few suggested running, abandoning the border worlds entirely. They knew the truth: if this new Terran Empire wanted war, the Alliance stood no chance. While aliens panicked, the humans stayed silent. Not a single transmission came from their fleet. The dreadnought in front continued its slow approach, giving the impression of a giant animal watching its prey. Every movement was controlled. Every formation was perfect. Nothing felt rushed. Inside the Terran dreadnought, the human commanders stood in a dim, blue-lit room. They wore black uniforms, simple but sharp, marked with the silver Earth emblem. Their faces were calm, disciplined, without fear. These were not the humans the galaxy remembered. These were descendants of exile, trained for hardship, shaped by silence, prepared for the day they would return. At the center of the room stood the High Commander, a tall woman with cold eyes. She looked at the holographic projection of the Alliance ships forming weak defensive lines. "They are scared," an officer said softly. "They should be," the High Commander replied. "They thought exile would break us." Another officer spoke. "Shall we broadcast the second message?" "Not yet," the commander said. "Let them watch our strength first. Fear is a powerful teacher." Back in the Alliance front, the panic grew. Reports flooded in from nearby systems, citizens fleeing, governors hiding, military officers requesting to resign. The idea of a powerful human empire was something the galaxy never prepared for. Then something unexpected happened. One of the smaller Terran ships broke formation. It moved forward, passing the dreadnought, gliding silently across the defensive line. Aliens thought it might attack. They aimed their weapons, their hands shaking. But the Terran ship did not fire. Instead, its underside opened. A massive projection lit the space, an image of Earth, but not the Earth the galaxy remembered. This Earth had a network of glowing rings around it, satellites the size of small moons, and a coat of blue shields that looked like living glass. Alien commanders gasped. One whispered, "Impossible. They rebuilt the entire planet." Another said, "No, this is beyond rebuilding. This is evolution." The projection shifted. Now the aliens saw new human colonies, huge cities built on red deserts, floating arc cities in gas giant atmospheres, and diamond-like structures resting above black holes. Humanity had not only survived. Humanity had mastered the places no one dared to live. How did they do this in silence? An admiral asked. But no one had an answer. The Terran fleet then released dozens of small drones. They moved in graceful spirals, forming a pattern in the sky. The drones created images, new human warships, planetary shields, energy cannons, and finally, the symbol of the Terran Empire. The message was clear. This is what exile created. This is what you feared. This is what has returned. Finally, the Terran High Commander sent the second broadcast. Her face appeared on every alien screen. Calm. Cold. Confident. "Alliance leaders," she began, "you claimed humanity was too dangerous to exist in your galaxy. So you pushed us out. You called it justice. You called it protection. She leaned forward slightly. But exile did not break us. It shaped us. And now, we stand here with power you never imagined. Her voice cut through every chamber, every command room, every ship. We did not come for war. We came for recognition. The Terran Empire demands a place in this galaxy, not as a servant, not as a victim, but as an equal power. Aliens looked at each other. Equal? No, the humans were not equal. They were greater. The High Commander continued. You can accept our return, or you can resist it. But remember this. Her eyes narrowed. We survived the dark alone. We can survive your resistance too. The transmission ended, but the silence that followed was louder than any weapon. The galaxy understood one thing for certain. Humanity had not come back to ask permission. Humanity had come back to claim its place. The Alliance had always believed it controlled the galaxy. For centuries, its fleets moved freely, its rules shaped trade, and its armies kept smaller species quiet. But now, every leader felt the same truth burning inside them. The balance of power was gone. Humanity had shattered it. Inside the Alliance High Hall, the leaders argued again. But this time, their voices were weaker. Not confident. Not proud. They were the voices of people afraid of their own past decisions. They will destroy us, one leader said. We cannot show fear, another replied, though his hands trembled. They survived exile. They built an empire. How do we fight something like that? Maybe we should negotiate, a third whispered. But the Supreme Admiral slammed his fist onto the table. No. We must prove the Alliance still has strength. We cannot let the humans dominate us. Everyone knew his words were empty. Even he knew. But pride is a dangerous thing. The Admiral gave a simple order. Send the Vanguard fleet. Test their power. The commanders hesitated. Sending the Vanguard fleet meant risking their strongest warships. But the Admiral's pride demanded a show of force. Minutes later, 40 Alliance warships jumped into the sector, surrounding the Terran fleet like angry insects around a giant beast. They activated shields, charged weapons, and prepared for combat. The galaxy held its breath. Inside the Terran commander room, officers watched the incoming ships calmly. No panic. No fear. Vanguard fleet approaching, reported an officer. The High Commander nodded. Maintain formation. Do not engage. Let them act first. But what if they attack? Another officer asked. The commander turned toward the hologram. They will attack. That is the way of the Alliance. But we do not fire unless necessary. Her voice was cold but steady. These were not humans who wanted revenge. These were humans who had learned patience in exile. The Alliance fleet broadcasted a message across the sector. Terran ships, you have entered restricted space. Power down your weapons. Prepare for forced inspection. The Terran fleet did not move. The Alliance repeated the message, louder and more aggressive. The Terran fleet stayed silent. Then the Admiral gave the order. Fire a warning shot. A single Alliance cruiser launched a bright plasma bolt across the void. It passed close to the Terran dreadnought, lighting its armor in blue reflection. The Terran ship did nothing. The Admiral ordered a second warning shot, closer, more dangerous. Still nothing. Alien soldiers began sweating inside their suits. Something felt wrong. Why were the humans not reacting? Why were they showing no fear? Then the Terran dreadnought slowly turned its front cannons toward the Alliance fleet, not powered, not primed, just pointed. That alone made half the alien ships pull back. Inside the High Hall, panic erupted. They are targeting us. No, they are warning us. What is their intention? The Supreme Admiral, now pale, shouted, full attack. Show them we are not afraid. But the officers hesitated. They remembered the holograms. The colonies. The technology. The raw power. They remembered the Terran commander's voice, calm, confident, certain of victory. Finally, out of fear or pride, one alien ship fired. That single shot cracked the silence of the stars. It hit the Terran dreadnought's shield. A ripple of blue light spread across the armor. Everyone braced for an explosion. But the dreadnought did not move. It did not shake. It did not show any damage. The shield absorbed everything like water falling into the ocean. Alien captains gasped. What is that shield? No material can absorb that shot. Have they created something beyond physics? Before more shots could be fired, the Terran High Commander opened a galaxy-wide broadcast. Her face filled every alien screen. Alliance forces, she said calmly, we will give you one chance to stop. We will not fire unless you continue. Her voice carried no threat. But the weight behind her words felt like a mountain pressing on every soldier's chest. Some alien captains lowered their weapons. Others hesitated. The admiral screamed over the channel. Do not stop. Fire again. But before anyone could obey, something happened that froze every mind watching. The Terran fleet activated their gravity engines. The space around them bent, smoothly, cleanly, quietly. Not as a weapon, but as a demonstration. Alliance ships began drifting as if pulled by invisible hands. Their engines stuttered. Their shields flickered. None of their systems could understand what the Terrans were doing. One alien whispered in horror. They can control space. Another whispered. This is not a fleet, this is a force of nature. The Terran commander spoke again. This is the strength you created when you banished us. Now choose, continue this fight, or stand down. The admiral tried to give one more order, but no one listened. Every ship powered down its weapons. Every screen went silent. Every soldier felt they had witnessed something world-changing. The galaxy finally understood. Humanity was not just back. Humanity was unstoppable, the Alliance fleets floated in silence. Ships that once ruled the galaxy now drifted like helpless metal shells, stripped of pride and power. They had seen something no one believed possible, a human fleet that could bend space, control gravity, and ignore weapons that could destroy moons. Inside their war rooms, commanders stood frozen. No one dared to give another order. No one wanted to make the next mistake. The old days of shouting commands and showing strength were over. Against humanity's new empire, their voice meant nothing. Far beyond them, the Terran fleet remained still, holding perfect formation. No lights flickered. No shields wavered. Every ship looked like a sharp shadow carved from a starless night. And then, slowly, the Terran flagship moved forward. This time, the Alliance did not retreat. They could not. They simply watched. The Terran High Commander appeared again on every alien screen. Her face was calm, her eyes steady, as if she already knew the galaxy would listen. Alliance, she said, your attack was expected. Your fear was expected. But we did not come to destroy you. A wave of confusion swept through the alien ranks. If humans had this power, why not wipe them out? The High Commander continued. We came because our exile must end. Humanity will not hide in the dark any longer. We will stand among the stars again. She paused. Silence filled every command center. But we will not allow the mistakes of the past to repeat. The Terran Empire will take its place, not as an enemy, but as a guardian. Aliens looked at one another in disbelief. Guardian? After everything the Alliance did to them? The High Commander explained. When you cast us out, many smaller species suffered with us. Worlds ignored by the Alliance. Colonies left without aid. Civilizations crushed by pirates, tyrants, and warlords. We found them. We sheltered them. We built together. Images flashed across the screens, alien species the Alliance had forgotten, living safely on human colonies, trading with human cities, training with human soldiers. The truth hit everyone at once. Humanity had not built an empire for revenge. Humanity had built an empire for protection. The High Commander's tone grew stronger. The galaxy is changing. The old powers are weak. Corruption spreads. Innocents suffer. We will not allow it anymore. She leaned forward slightly. The Terran Empire will open its borders. Any species seeking protection may join under our shield. We do not ask for tribute. We do not ask for land. We only ask for unity. The message shocked the galaxy. They expected war. They expected death. They expected revenge. Instead, humans offered something the Alliance never did. Security without oppression. Partnerships without chains. Power without cruelty. In the Alliance Hall, one leader finally spoke, his voice shaking. Human Commander. Do you expect us to bow to your empire? The High Commander shook her head. No. We want something far simpler. She raised her hand. Recognition. Respect. An agreement that humanity will stand as its own power, equal to the Alliance, not beneath it. Another alien leader whispered, and if we refuse? The High Commander did not smile. She simply answered with calm certainty. Then the galaxy will decide on its own. Many already stand with us. More will follow. You cannot stop change. Her honesty terrified them more than any threat. Then something unexpected happened. On the outer edge of the star system, lights appeared, dozens, then hundreds. Ships of every shape and size arrived. Not Terran. Not Alliance. Minor species. Forgotten species. Refugees. Survivors. Civilizations the Alliance never protected. They formed a ring around the Terran fleet, a gesture of loyalty and gratitude. A small alien voice broke through a transmission. Terrans gave us homes when no one cared. We stand with them. Then another. They saved our children from pirates. And another. They gave us safety. You never did. The Alliance leaders watched, speechless, as hundreds of worlds aligned themselves with humanity. This was no empire of force. This was an empire built on trust. The High Commander spoke one last time. This is the new galaxy. Not ruled by fear. Not ruled by the strong. But guided by those who protect. Her words echoed across the stars. Humanity does not seek war. But know this. If anyone threatens the innocent. If anyone repeats the sins of the past. The Terran Empire will rise again. And we will answer. The broadcast ended. The Terran fleet turned slowly, its engines glowing blue. One by one, the human ships jumped into the void, leaving behind a galaxy forever.